Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey.
Jesse.
And today, I'm back from my movie shoot with George Massimillo. But today we are doing 1989's Back to the Future, Part 2.
Even more future-y.
Super future-y. And if you want to join us on Patreon, we have free memberships and paid memberships. Choose what you want. Choose your own adventure. And we have the reviews with actual clips of the movie and no ads and all that great stuff. So join us over on Patreon. Let's get over into the cast of 1989's Back to the Future Part 2. This movie stars everybody that was in the first one.
Except for Crispin Glover and the girlfriend.
Except for Crispin Glover and the girlfriend. So Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly, Christopher Lloyd as Doc Brown, Lea Thompson as Lorraine, Tom Wilson as Biff Tannen, and everybody else in the Tannen family, Elisabeth Shue as Jennifer, and Jeffrey Weissman as George McFly. Let's jump into it because as much as I enjoyed watching the first one, this one, I always thought I really liked this one as well. And I watched it and went, definitely didn't like this one as much as the first one. I'll be honest, I like the third one more than this one.
100%. Although I understand why that's a bigger thing for you to say that, because you fucking hate Westerns.
You were correct.
Yes.
Like, you
Absolutely.
should hear the terrible shit he said about fucking The Harder They Fall and Denzel's Magnificent Seven. Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah,
I've never heard you talk like that. I'm just trying to drum up some viewership
I
on
it.
those two.
It's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, no, this movie, I remember it as a kid and liking it too. And after watching it, I was like, oh, I remember why it was a kid. Liked it as a kid because I was a fucking spaz. So having 47,000 plot lines was awesome to me because I didn't remember any of them. Yes. So I was like, and then mom got big tits and then she's got normal tits and Biff's going to shoot him and the DeLorean flies up and hits him in the head. And now we're all friends again. And now Doc is gone and I got to go find. It's like, dude. You have to be an insane person to be like,
yeah.
And then,
dude, you have to be coked out of your mind to be like, yo, this is a great movie. I'm following everything. So this movie begins with the ending of the first movie where Doc comes back to bring Marty and Jennifer to the future because their kids have HPV or something. So he's like, Marty, get in the car. And Biff comes out to see the DeLorean take off into the sky. And he's like, DeLorean things. And he like gets all like pissed off.
Yep.
This is I had a problem with this scene. Which is funny because I didn't have a problem with it to end the first movie. I had a problem with it this time around because I don't understand why Doc is in such a fucking hurry to go save Marty's kid because you have a time machine.
Well, and let's face facts, you stopped to buy new clothes too, asshole. You got a whole new goddamn future wardrobe. Yeah, you're pressing me not to lose my virginity at the lake? Fuck you.
Yeah. And I'm assuming we'll continue to talk about this, but I'm going to bring this point up. Marty goes back to 1955, right? He's there all day, 1955. And I know he was there for a week, but that last day, he was there all day and all night. He saves the day, yada, yada, gets back to the clock tower, goes to the future. And as soon as he gets back, Doc goes, hey, Marty, we got to go back to the future to save your kid. He is awake for at least 72 hours from the last day of the first movie to the end of this movie. There's no sleep for him.
No. He's huffing
Like-
VCR cleaner like the whole way to fucking the future.
Dude, I don't know if the future gives like time travel gives you a bunch of energy, but this dude needed to take a fucking nap.
You were correct.
And I've been Marty before. I know where he's at, where you're just going so hard on that future shit, you can't stop, but you got to. Look what happened to P. Diddy. P. Diddy said can't stop, won't stop, and guess what? He got stopped.
He caught a case.
You don't stop yourself, you're gonna get stopped.
Absolutely. So Doc explains to Marty that he has to take his son's place and say no to Biff's grandson, Griff, because Griff convinces Marty's son to be a part of like a robbery or something, and it destroys Marty's family. So Marty says no and then gets attacked by Griff. And then this is basically just a replay of the first movie, except future style.
Yeah, and here's my thing, like Skip and I, we do the whole chase scene and hoverboards and cool, and they got everything wrong. We know that. Future sucks. Still the same as it was in 85. Same as it ever was.
Yes.
Actors in the White House and
Hell yes.
all of the same people are there doing the same shit every single fucking decade.
Just
get the fuck out of there.
And by the way, they see they go through the whole sports almanac thing. They see Jennifer in the alley. The cops are picking her up and they're hiding. Marty's dressed like his son.
Yeah.
All he's got to do is go, hey, this is my mom.
Yep.
And she passed out. I went to go get a friend. We got a car over there. I'm just going to take... Movie's over.
Yeah.
They just let the cops pick her up. That's just bad. What are we doing there?
This was... Again... It is very clear this movie was written because the first one was successful and for literally no other reason. Yes. Yep. It's so fucking dumb. Just dumb.
The storyline isn't great. And then you have the, dinner with the McFly family and, again, going back to the whole like, oh, the future was wrong and, about so many things in this movie. That you want to have flying cars because in 2015, there's flying cars. Fine. Mm-hmm. I don't give a shit. It's the Jetsons. We all thought that shit was going to happen.
Sure.
Sooner rather than later. That's fine. You want to have self-tying shoes? Fine. Don't give a shit. Whose fucking idea was it for Marty McFly to wear 2 fucking ties? That's going to be a thing in the future? That angered me. I saw 2 ties and I was just like, whose fucking asshole idea was this? That's going to be the new business look is 2 fucking ties.
All of the fashion in this is bullshit.
I'd rather them go back to Weekend at Bernie's and go, hey, the shorts with the fucking blazer, that's going to be a look.
Yep.
Biff overhears all of this. Old Biff in the future. He follows Marty and Doc, snags the sports almanac out of the trash, steals the time machine to give himself the almanac in 1955.
Mm-hmm.
Marty and Doc help Jennifer get back to the DeLorean after the whole mishap and her seeing herself in the future. And they go back to 1985. And after dropping Jennifer off at home, Marty and Doc realize that the past, or the future, depending on where you're looking at it, has changed drastically. And Biff now runs the whole fucking city because he's the luckiest man alive. There's a lot of people that are really good at gambling. If you hit on every single bet you make, nobody's calling you the luckiest man alive. They're going to be like, A, he's either fixing all this shit, or B, what does he know?
Oh, they're going to pull you out in the street like Slumdog Millionaire and threaten to kill you unless you start fucking talking.
Yep.
And make it a whole lot of sense. An old man with a time machine ain't going to cut it.
Exactly.
I think quantum physics is probably where most casino owners and bookies will draw the line.
Yeah, Biff gets a bullet in the back of his head before he gets a chance to build this casino that he lives in.
Yes.
And by the way, just because Biff owns a casino, the entire city goes to shit. Like, that's the other thing I didn't get. And he either A, he builds the casino and the city goes to shit because he like runs the town, which why would you want the city to go to shit? Because poor people can't spend money in your casino.
It.
And I was just gonna say either that or you built the casino in the shitty part of town.
No, I think he took the town over. He is diversified because they show in the little museum that he owns. He started Biffco Energy with the nuclear power, and he's got that shit everywhere. He's got all the houses, if you noticed on the block, when Marty breaks into the wrong house.
Yeah.
And he gets chased down the street. And the guy's like, we ain't selling. You hear me? Every single house has a for sale by Biffco real estate. Yeah. So he's literally bought this town. And I mean, he's kind of a sociopath. Like, he's living up in a fucking penthouse. He's good to go. He doesn't give a shit. Here's my question, though. It's the one thing I don't understand. So Biff from the future goes back and gives Biff from the past the sports almanac. Yes. Biff from the future then travels back to the future and fades away like Marty and the pictures of his kids because the future's changed. That version of Biff no longer exists.
Yeah.
Nothing in sports changes? Is it like a receiver that maybe was going to play for the fucking Cardinals ended up taking a detour to Hill Valley and got hooked on fucking heroin? You know what I'm saying? Literally nothing else changed. Nixon's running for a 5th term in the newspaper article and vows to end the Vietnam War by 1985. He changed the course of presidential history, but sports is totally good.
No, that's why
Nothing
the Browns.
In sports.
That's why the Browns still suck.
Yeah,
it's because of Biff.
Yeah,
Biff fucked with Johnny Manziel. Like, Biff fucked with all those guys.
Biff made Tim Couch cry. He put fucking Ben Gay in his jock.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
If you're changing everything, then everything has to change. And eventually that sports almanac becomes null and void. Yes. Somebody isn't going to get born. Somebody will be fucking hooked on something. Like, there will be different avenues this goes down. Watch a Marvel movie, dickheads.
But Marty realizes as well in the future that his dad is dead. He doesn't realize it yet, but because Biff killed him.
Yep.
And he also married his mom. And he also learns that Doc was committed to an insane asylum.
Yep.
Doc also finds a piece of Biff's cane in the DeLorean, realizes what happened, that, Biff went back in time. And Biff then tries to kill Marty, chases him to the roof of the casino where Marty jumps off. Doc catches him with the DeLorean. They go back to 1955 to try and set the future right by stealing the sports almanac back from Biff.
Yep.
And I'll be honest. This is where the movie really goes off the fucking rails.
Yeah, this is when I am kind of done. The middle part of this story was great.
I actually really liked it, yeah.
You had Biff you got to see Biff just being all Biff.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Wilson, to what you were saying, totally understood the assignment because he was amazing.
Yep.
You get his gang still there. And I don't know if you noticed it, but his gang was still the 3 guys that hit Marty over the head and took him upstairs.
Billy Zane's still there.
Yep. So all of this is fucking awesome to see. And then, Lorraine having changed into basically the showgirl with giant fake tits. And she's an alcoholic again. The only way Lorraine avoids alcoholism is if George McFly is the most successful writer that ever existed. Otherwise, that bitch is going off the rails. She is Betty Ford.
George needs to win the fucking Nobel Peace Prize for her to stay sober.
Yep, 100%. So like this, and then the casino and the debauchery and the town just going to complete hell. It's so much fun. And it's such a good idea of what a third term would look like.
Okay. Well, to your point, the first half of this movie is fun. And it is a Back to the Future movie. The second half of this movie is like somebody started sprinkling their bullshit into this. Like,
well, they started snorting their bullshit and forgot to edit sober.
But like at some point, and again, I know Zemeckis had a hand in writing this, but at some point Zemeckis had to just be like, wow, the second half of this movie is fucking trash, dog. Like you'd think, but
whatever. I know a lot of people like it, and they like it because this was some of the first shots where you had the same actor playing in the same role and doing it multiple times. Like the shot of Marty at home in the future where he's playing his son, himself, and as an older person, and then his daughter. That was the first time 3 people playing the same character have been captured on film like that.
Yeah.
So you're welcome, Nutty Professor. But so I know, like, and when you get to 1955, that's really where this kind of like leans heavy on. Doc runs into Doc. Marty's running into himself. Biff is running into Biff. Like, everybody's in here having all these different fun and little run-ins with themselves, and hijinks ensue. And here's my thing. I don't need a reminder of what happened in the first movie. If you were going to show me something that was happening when we didn't see in the first movie, okay, very different. We get maybe a conversation or two that we never heard, which was very clearly just kind of cut footage that they pieced back together. They didn't really give a shit. So, like, a lot of this is just, I don't even know how to describe it. I think you maybe did the best. All over the place, off the rails.
Yeah, it's just
messy.
It's messy. I would say
the whole trying to get the book and ooh la la, and then the book and then the cover and
come on, ooh la la was good.
Yeah, ooh la la is still good, dog. I don't know,
but yeah, because when you get Marty, he then trails the 1955 Biff. He witnesses the 2015 Biff giving the other Biff the almanac. Marty can't get the almanac right there. So he and Doc try to get it at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. So you got Marty in the back of Biff's car, and then they go to the dance, and then, he's in Strickland's office because Strickland takes the book, but it's the ooh la la thing. Marty in the back of Biff's car and Marty in Strickland's office are the two most ridiculous set of scenes in this entire franchise. Like, Marty, and I understand for movies, you have to have like this conversation happening over here while this is happening really close by. This has got to be audible for the audience to hear, but this person doesn't know. Marty's literally in the back seat of this motherfucker's car, and he's like, Doc, I can't get the magazine. And he's basically standing in the back seat of the car, and your rear view mirrors. Okay, even if there's a car following a little too close to me while I'm driving, I'm immediately, my eye is drawn to it, and I'm like, this guy won't get off my ass.
About every 5 to 15 seconds, I'm looking in my rearview mirror, no matter what.
You don't see a 5'4" little man standing up in the back of your fucking car with a goddamn walkie-talkie with the antennas 10 feet tall? Get the fuck out of here.
Doesn't see him, doesn't hear him. And then when he does like have like weird little things happen, he just like, my radio's fucked up. Dumbass.
Well, and then the whole Strickland thing and the hand behind the chair as he rolls in. Listen, that's this whole the Strickland part, the Biff part, fucking completely ridiculous.
Yep.
But anyway, eventually, Biff leaves the dance, and okay, before I get to Biff leaving the dance, because we have the whole like sexual assault / rape scene, right? And Marty's on the walkie-talkie in Strickland's office, and Doc is like, he's like, I lost him. And Doc's like, you don't know where he is? I discussed this earlier. I know he's been awake for a while, but this shit literally just happened to you yesterday. You don't remember how the events unfolded?
Let's actually break it down in that case. You were almost sexually assaulted by your mother, and then you got knocked out, taken away by a group of guys, and then your mom was almost sexually assaulted by somebody else until your dad finally spined the fuck up, knocked him out. And the whole time, your one goal is to get your mom and dad to fuck. And you don't remember it.
Not a second of it.
Cool, dude.
And it's not like in the first one, he didn't see what happened. He shows up, yes, at the last minute, but he shows up to see his dad knock him out. He knows exactly what's going on and where people are.
Dude,
it literally happened, I want to say less than 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
But you can't. Cool.
Well, it happened 50 years ago or 30.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what the time jumps are here, and I'm not trying to fucking math this movie.
It happened 11 times. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, no, that Marty remembers more about one conversation about his parents' enchantment under the sea dance and knowing the clock tower gets struck by lightning than he does the events of 24 hours ago.
You know your history. Very good.
Time travel makes your brain turn into RFK Jr.'s brain. This is the good news. Time travel exists because RFK Jr. literally traveled through time and came back exactly like Marty McFly.
I don't want to give advice.
He tried to stop an assassination and ended up getting a fucking worm in his brain. Just my idea, though.
The worm is from time travel.
Yes.
And now he's like, I got a worm in my brain. Time travel.
I call him Wormy. He's my friend.
Wormy. But eventually, Biff leaves the dance with the almanac after beating up Marty. Doc and Marty follow him from above. Death from above. Marty uses the hoverboard to get the almanac.
Yep.
And after a struggle and Biff trying to kill Marty, Marty tries to get away from Biff, who is trying to run him down. Biff crashes his car into manure again, into another manure truck. And Doc and Marty fly away in the DeLorean.
And let's not forget that even though they all know a storm is coming and Doc has built a time machine, wind seems to be a real problem.
It does. And by the way, why is he still flying? Like, he's still in the air. Like, you let Marty down because he's still on the hoverboard and he's holding and he's like, hey. And he gets down and Doc's like, I'm just going to sit up here and hover. How the fuck is Marty going to get back up there?
Hey, look at me. The moon's out. Fucking bears his ass and shit. He's fucking with him and then he gets zapped by lightning.
Well, and he's like, hey, you got to burn the magazine. Hey, fuck you, Doc. How about you land the DeLorean so we can get the hell out of here? Okay? How about we start there? And by the way, I think I told you this before we even started recording. I got a real problem with Marty burning the almanac here. You had the Ooh La La with the cover, that's the sports almanac, right? And then you have the real sports almanac. All you got to do is burn the cover, guy. Burn the Ooh La La. Put the sports almanac down the front of your pants or the back of your pants, wherever. Put it down your pants. And then go to the future. And when you get back and you start hitting it big and you make your first, $2 million, and Doc is like, dude, did you not burn it? And be like, no, Here's $1 million. Go fuck yourself, guy. Here's $1 million to go fund your whatever bullshit experiments that you got going on with the suction cup on the head and the time machine and all that stuff. Here's $1 million. Go do whatever the fuck you want. But this is over. Okay? I'm going to live my life, and you need to stop fucking with me.
Here's why I'm not going to take moral advice from Doc Brown at this point in time, okay? Because that's cool. He's your friend, and we're fucking whatever. Old men, teenage boys, makes perfect sense.
Sure. Somebody in the comments tried to explain it to us after the first one.
Oh, they were very upset. And it's like, no, dude, your old man friend fucking touched you. You're just trying to fucking get around it. He fucking touched you. Get over yourself. But anyway, Doc, when he opens up his briefcase full of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed, but there's 2 types of currency for 1864. I don't know if anybody out there is a big U.S. history buff, but we had a little fucking civil dispute. And Doc has Confederate money. You're going back to shop in the Confederate? What are you going to fucking buy down? I know one big thing that was still for sale down there. What the fuck are you about to buy, Doc?
Hey, Doc, what are you buying there?
Yeah. This is weird. You don't need Confederate money to help fucking Harriet Tubman, you son of a bitch. I can tell you what you do need it for. Fucking pervert. So yeah, when he's like, don't gamble, I'm like, don't buy slaves. Fuck you.
Great Scott!
Well, now that the fan fiction of Doc going to the Confederacy to buy slaves is out there.
Hello, sir.
It's in the zeitgeist now.
I'm mosey down here in my flying metal pony to come and see what you got.
Student athletes. Oh, that is brilliant, sir.
After a minute, so the DeLorean gets struck by lightning. It seems to, I don't know, explode or whatever, but it's no longer there. And after a minute, a courier from Western Union shows up.
Mm-hmm.
As it begins to rain, he gives Marty a letter from Doc, who apparently became trapped in 1885 after the lightning strike made the DeLorean go back to January 1st, 1885. And Marty goes back to town. He finds Doc in 1955 at the clock tower after he sends Marty back to the future, and he's celebrating in the street. And Marty comes running around the corner, sees Doc. Doc faints. And the movie ends as we get clips from the third movie that's coming out that following summer.
Yep. And I did read one cool thing about this, because I never knew what the upside down nines were. What those really are, according to the filmmakers, the tires on the DeLorean, when they were inverted, were spinning so fast when he got hit by the lightning that was the streak they left when he flashed back into time.
I think that's false.
I'm just telling you what, I mean, that's what Robert Zemeckis said. So
Robert Zemeckis is hiding the Illuminati signs behind it, and it's satanic, and that's a vagina, what you just did.
I think that kind of is.
Come on, guy. There you go.
That is a cavernous vagina, my friends.
That's how I like them.
That thing was open.
It's ready.
It was like the tunnel they fucking drove in, trying to get the sports book back.
But no, at the end of the day, I thought this movie was going to be fun, and all I did was question it, basically from about halfway through this to the end, like we discussed. And I kept going like, what? And again, my biggest thing about it is whether it's like saving Marty's son, or getting Jennifer, or like we got to get back and get the sports almanac. Like Doc is in such a hurry this whole time. We got to do it now. Marty, we got to do it now. If I'm Marty, I'd be like, you see that silver monstrosity parked in your garage? That's a time machine, guy. Can I take a nap and then we could fuck with history tomorrow? Like, I'm a little tired. I got bags under my eyes. Let's fuck with this tomorrow. And by the way, oh, well, you got to do it like this and you got to do it like this. And then we save the sun and yada, yada. Yeah. And if I don't do it, we could just go back again and try again. You know why? Because you got a time machine, guy. What's the hurry?
Yep. This was just talk about what's the hurry. That's what the writers of this film really should have asked themselves.
Yeah.
Like, what's the hurry? If we put out a Back to the Future 2 in fucking 1995, people will flock to it.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter when this movie would have came out. You just could have thought about it a little bit harder. Now, is it still iconic? Of course. People still talk about hoverboards and the Nikes and the fucking flying cars and the news runs about it. Yes. And the Jaws shark, everything. And this movie, even this part in this whole franchise is in the zeitgeist. I, like you, do not understand why people dislike the third one so much, but yet rave about the second one.
Yeah, I honestly really like, and again, it's coming up. We're doing the third one at some point soon in the next, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. But from my memory, I liked the third one a hell of a lot more than I liked this one, even back then.
Yep.
When I saw the third one, I was like, oh, okay. Like the third one just seemed to have a better story.
It was more cohesive of a plot line to follow. It was very simple. Doc's back in time.
Yes.
We're going to tie this bitch off.
This was all over the place. So when you get to the Old West, it was literally just one storyline. We got to get you back and yada, yada, and whatever. The only other question I have about the whole franchise, and especially here, I get it in 1985 or 1955 for that, especially in 1955. Somebody called you a pussy, your whole world is going to end, right? Somebody calls you a chicken. What are you, chicken? No, I'm not chicken. I'll kill you and your family. Like, I get that in 1955. I even get that in 1985. It was 2015, and Marty's still like, you're calling me chicken? Bass player from Red Hot Chili Peppers? Get the fuck out. Like, in 2015, I don't know that you could have called me any name that would have made me lose my shit.
You couldn't have called me any name I haven't said to myself 6 inches away from a mirror.
That's it. You can't even hurt my feelings at this point. Take your best shot, commenters. You've tried. Okay?
Yeah,
but like somebody calls him a chicken. He's a 45-year-old man in 2015. And that's still getting your...
Especially when it's the same guy that does it to you.
Yeah.
Like, how does it... When Needles is needling you over and over and over again and constantly fucking your life up over and over again because he says the word chicken, you need help, dog.
Yeah.
Like, what happens when your wife goes to the store? What'd you have for dinner tonight ready for me, honey? Chicken. Fucking what? Fucking crush you, bitch.
Did Flea call you?
Yeah. It's so dumb, dude. It's just...
No, that's the only part of this franchise that... And again, going back to the Old West, are you yellow? Are you chicken? Like, that was a thing. And in 1955, the Neanderthals from 1955, I totally get that too. In 1985, maybe not as much, but I still sort of get that.
Yep.
In 2015, I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't buy it that we're that far into the future and people have been like, you've been getting that pissed off to the point where you get into a bad car wreck and ruin your whole fucking life. because somebody called you fucking chicken shit?
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm in my truck with my girlfriend, who I've been desperately trying to take to a lake and fuck
That Doc won't let me?
for weeks.
What
For
seems like weeks.
I
It's been
can't stop talking about it. I'm
It's
so
been 20
excited about this.
It's been 24 hours, but it feels like weeks.
To her, for Marty, it's been weeks. He has been on adventures. And he's coming back. He's finally got his girl in the truck. And some fucking gap-toothed white trash motherfucker is going to be like, when are you, Chicken McFly? And I'm going to be like, strap up, bitch. Ready to get ready to get your basement flooded? I'm going to dust this. No, I'm taking a right and getting pussy.
I'm pretty sure, if memory serves me correctly, it is the Red Hot Chili Peppers that are in that car.
It might be. I know it is Flea that is Needles. I don't know if the whole goddamn band is with him.
I think it's the whole band. If memory serves,
this explains it then, because fucking they started the race and Anthony Kiedis was like, and Marty McFly's like, dude, fuck this, and tried to kill himself. He's like, I would rather die a virgin now while I got her in the car. DTF. I'm gonna fucking kill myself now than listen to Under the Bridge one more fucking time in my life.
I'm gonna take everybody out. Everybody's done.
I swear to God.
Oh my God. But yeah, that's all I got. I mean, listen, I do like this franchise. The first movie was great. The first half of this movie was good. Second half, I could have done without it if they just kept it simple. Like if they actually took all of the other pieces of the first movie out, and it was Marty just navigating his way through the backside of this 1955 past. Mm-hmm. Sure, great, that's fine. Like I just, there was too much going on.
Yeah, this is what I genuinely think they were trying to do, because every sequel, you're bringing in a new audience, especially when it's something like this, where even back in 1984, 85, like going back to 1955 and potentially fucking your mother was an option. So it wasn't like you could go see that as a kid. It was cool. Just be like, there's some interesting thinking in here. I remember that fucking titty milk being good. Maybe I should try and go back in time. But so that was cool. Like kids went to see that. So whenever time you have another movie come out, you're trying to bring in that new audience. So you had new kids coming in here 4 years after the fact.
Yeah. And
so the first half and the end of this were basically for those kids. You didn't really experience the first movie in a theater. Here's your, yay, I'm in the future. Look at all this cool tech stuff and my Nikes fucking shoes and my self-drying jacket and my hoverboard. And then you go into the adult version of the movie, which is for everybody that saw the first movie and loved it and is now an adult 4 years later. And then you revert back into, this is for the kids or anybody in the audience that never saw the first one.
Yeah.
And you're trying to please everybody, and you don't need to do that. You had your core audience. Worry about them. They'll bring other people to it to go see it if you make them happy. That's all you have to do.
Yep. And Blockbuster was a thing at this point. So you could have rented the first one and then gone to the theater to see this one.
Exactly. No, it's just, they missed the mark. I'm going to take a pass on this, dog. It's a pass for me, dog.
Sorry. You're not going to Hollywood. That's a pass for me, too.
I think you're so talented. And I just love that little boy. And the crazy guy with the hair. It's adorable. I'm going to do it. Go to Hollywood.
Well, that's a 1 out of 3. So we're not.
That's a fail, dog.
That's a fail. That's a fail from me, dog. All right. For Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews. And this was, you know what? This was a lot too. This episode of our show was much like part 2 of Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But this was Back to the Future Part 2, 1989.